Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello everyone, this is the Panda Photographer from 6x6studios.com and welcome to this channel. And today I want to talk about night photography, night trail tips. Now, a lot of you out there are wondering, how does the Panda Photographer himself get these beautiful long trail exposures? Well, it takes practice, skill, the right set of tools, patience, and free time. Now, I just want to start off and say that I am no expert or no professional when I say this, because every photographer, even the professional, is still learning today. But I do want to say that I do have tons of experience doing light trail photography, especially long exposures. So the key elements of doing light trail photography are: 1. The education, 2. the time and the will, and 3. a camera that you need to set on long exposures. Now, this may vary. The settings can be between 2.5, 1 seconds, or it can be as long as 2 minutes. Now, for most of these photos that you're going to see today are shot either between 2.5 seconds or shot longer than a minute. Now, like this image in front of you here, this was taken in San Jose, California. This was shot about 27 seconds using a f-stop at f8 and ISO 100. Now, keep in mind that I did use a polarizer in this case, and not many will use a polarizer, but in my case I did, to kind of give the light a little bit of like dim solution to the bright lights. Not only that, I like to set my Kelvin temperature based on the colors that I see at night. So if I want a realism night image, I would definitely take a night image, and I would definitely set my Kelvin temperature down to about sweet spot between Kelvin 4000 and 3000. But you can use auto white balance, and I have a tutorial how to auto fine tune your Sony Alpha cameras. Now, this may vary between camera body manufacturers. Now, Nikon and Canon are two others that Canon likes to saturate their reds and Nikon likes to saturate their greens, so keep that in mind. Now, for the rest of you guys are wondering, I used a Manfrotto 190 Go tripod, and I like to collapse it a little bit, but I also like to keep it stable, so you can add weights towards your to your tripod. Sorry about that. But you guys are trying to wonder, how did I get so close to the train? Well, I was really close to the train, but I added weight down to my tripod so it doesn't move. But the key element on this is that I use a wireless remote shutter release, also called interferometer. Now, you can buy these over Amazon or B&H or Panoramic. Doesn't matter where you buy it. Make sure you buy a really good quality one so it can last you a very long time. Cheap ones tend to fall apart over time, and the digital display will fade over time. But they will last more than a year, so that should be good enough about time for you to get a new one and a better model. But other than that, you can see this image was shot at settings of IS 100, 27 seconds. This one was the same thing. This one was shot about 36 seconds, ISO 100, and at the same aperture as well. And you can definitely see that there's a more dramatic change to this photo. This photo was pretty well executed, and all my photos have been edited in the Lightroom, by the way. No Photoshop applied, so keep that in mind. Another tip is to always look for a dramatic scene. Now, you can use the streets, walkways, which you can see here, to get a more directional look and also set up your composition. So that's very vital. But you can also be unique and actually add polarizers to certain lights, because some lights can be intense, but you don't have to add a polarizer. I don't recommend it, that's just my style. But the way to get perfect light streaks is to up your f-stop. You can go all the way up to f22 if you like. But keep in mind, make sure that you test out your images first before you start taking your final images, so you get a nice composition, nice lighting. Make sure that you have your settings correctly. Make sure that if you are going to correct your auto white balance, make sure you have the right color temperature as well. And another thing I like to use when I'm doing um, night trail photography is to be open-minded about a lot of my scenery, but also be open-minded to explore urban, city, and highways and overpasses. That is key. You can go over the highways, you can go over overpasses to try to capture and make sure, as I said, make sure that you do your composition and make sure fill the frame each and every time. If you have a crop sensor, fill the frame. Full frame, fill the frame. Never crop your images in post, because you want all the megapixels that you can when you're doing night trail photography. Now this is a picture of I was in the San Francisco at the City Hall, and you can see the light trails here, like reddish and bluish, but at the time the City Hall was lit up blue and white. Not sure why that was, but it was. But keep in mind that I shot this at about ISO 100, my Kelvin temperature down about 3800, and like I said, all my photos have been edited in Lightroom, so keep that in mind. Another tip that I want to give you guys is also, when you are using lenses, make sure you use uh, a zoom lens or a wide aperture lens, like a 14 or 16 or 18 or 24 if you can, so you can get what you want. And when you do your composition, make sure that this is the picture that you're going to take. But also use angles when you're doing uh, night trail photography, and it's very important to always make sure that you're always safe and always travel light at night, because you never know what or who may come along and try to cause trouble for you. Or you might be in a place that a security guard might say, hey, you're trespassing. If you are in a public space, make sure you let them know that this is a public space. I have a right to be here, and this is an open public space. So keep in mind, but never cause any other issues. Make sure you talk to the security guards politely. Let them know that this is your time when you take out photos. You're a hardworking individual. You do what you love, but this is how you relieve stress. So keep that in mind. This was taken in Portland, Oregon. Now this photo here was very interesting. I really found to be in the rain at the time when I took this photo. And I used the Sigma 18 to 35 art lens, and I had it at full 18 mil and ISO 50, and shutter speed was about I'd say about 15 seconds, and my aperture was about f8, I believe. And you can see where the light trails came out, and you see the lights on the street lamps. And I absolutely set this at Kelvin temperature 3300, by the way. So I want that cool effect, but I also want the cloud cover, you can see here, to be noticed, because this is what I saw that night, the cloud cover. And Portland's a very wet city during the fall and winter. It rains a lot, and it gets pretty cold, yeah, at times too. But and this is also Portland, Oregon. Now, I used a tripod, but I also weighted it down because the traffic was going by and you can feel the vibration. But as I said, do your composition correctly. You can see, like, I have the lights and the curves here. I believe I shot this at f16 and actually f11. Sorry, f11 and ISO 100, and the long exposure is set about 10 seconds here, and you can see where I actually created like this blue nighttime metro effect, but you can see there's a lot of reds and a lot of color here. So this is one of my favorite photos that I love to talk about. But as I said, use the street, do urban photography, use, go into the neighborhood and use corners to do night photography. And you want to actually have curves in your long trail exposures at night, so keep that in mind. Here is where it gets interesting. This is also called light trail, but also you can do light painting while doing long exposures. Now, this was a very risky thing, so be careful when you do light painting or light trail painting while doing light trail photography in the street. So I dared to take myself into the street. You can see a little bit of my shadow, but I took a regular, small, little cheap $7 flashlight that you can buy from a smoke shop or anywhere, or Walgreens or Best Buy. And you can see the light trails here on the left and right side of the street here with the cars going by, and I'm right in the middle of the street doing circular motions with a flashlight. Now this is another way you can absolutely do night photography and night trail photography to capture moments. And like I said, be very creative, be open-minded, use the tools that you have available, and also be very knowledgeable. Do your homework before you go out. Make sure that you have all the settings that you need, all the gear that you need, the lens that you need, because all you really need is one lens and one body, one tripod. That's all you need. Everything else you bring small. You need a flash, get a flash if you want to be creative. If you want a flashlight, bring a flashlight. Or bring some wood to do fire exposures and long exposures as well. This is New York City, and this was the Flatiron District. This was shot about f f11, shutter speed maybe about I believe this was a f10 and ISO 50, and just wanted to capture the New York theme and the Flatiron District and when I was in New York City. So, and as I said, be very intelligent, be very smart about your photo taken, and be really open-minded about where you are, and be safe at the same time. But what I like to do when I'm taking these long exposures is also evaluate how my temperature is going to be sometimes, and sometimes it will fluctuate. So I wait till a car comes by, take a test photo and see how that's going to be, and then I decide if I want to cool it or warm it. But for me, I have to a little bit of warm it just because I like how the lights in the streets of New York City was giving me these like really nice color to the buildings. But also the sky was clear that night. It was very blue. It was clear sky. It was gorgeous summer day. So keep that in mind. Always bring a remote release shutter controller, which is called interphenometer. So always remember that. This is also taken in Portland in the Pearl District, light painting long exposures. Now, as I said, be very creative of what long exposures are light trails, because this is called light trails. It doesn't have to just be the street. It can also be your creative art skills as an artist. Do like painting. You can paint when you're doing long exposures at night, which are called light trails as well. Just not have to just be traffic. It could be anything that has light. So this was taken in San Francisco this year on Farmers Market about 11:33 at night. Very dangerous place, by the way, at night, because you got a lot of homeless, you got a lot of drug activity. But this was the last train to Castro on the F Market train, and As I said, long exposures can be artistic but creative. And this is where I did a long exposure for about 5 seconds and ISO 100, shutter speed about f5.6, and you see the train, but you also see the trail streaks. So be artistic, be very intelligent when taking long exposures, because you can see the long exposures from the car on the left side of me here, where I'm pointing here with the mouse. You can see the light trail. So the train came along, stopped here for a moment, and passed on once again. So keep in mind to also be very aware of your surroundings and what you can take, because I believe everything, 99% of everything you see can be photographed. You just gotta find a way how to composition it and take the photo. This was also taken in Portland, Oregon, and by the way, this is one of my favorite photos. So this was taken the same time, about 11:30. Last train going all the way towards Beaverton and Portland, Oregon. The train was coming by. I call this the blue effect. And the Providence Park was a very quiet and decent place in Portland where I can be quiet and take photos without being disturbed. And I waited till the train stopped. Then as the train was moving, that's when I hit my shutter speed, my shutter release, locked it, and let the train roll by. ISO 100, shutter speed f8, shutter speed was about 10 seconds, because the train is a pretty long train, so I have to wait till it comes by. But you can see the very nice effect that I got from this. But if this has helped you in any way, if I missed anything that you need to know about taking night photography, please let me know down in the comments down below. My name is Keiki Alexander Denichi Bailey from 646studios.com, also known as the Panda Photographer. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Tumblr, follow me on Facebook, Keiki Alexander, and all the links and icons to my social medias are on the website, so keep that in mind. But other than that, if you do like the content, please show some love by hitting that donation PayPal button on my website at 646studios.com. $2, $5, $10, whatever amount that you want to donate will very help. But other than that, you guys take care. Please subscribe to this channel, like, share, and hit the notification button for more content. Without further ado, go out there, take some beautiful photographs at night, and show them what you got, and show the world what you got. And I'm the Panda Photographer, and I'll see you guys in the next one.